So this is a somewhat controversial topic, but not that controversial. Last night, I enjoyed weed. And I enjoyed getting weed. I came home, I was tired, I'd gone dancing the night before, and sometimes when I put myself out there and mingle with people in a loud environment the next day, typical introvert thing. The next day, I just gotta stay home. So I wanted to go to dance for the second night in a row, but then I was like, I'm too tired. And then it came to me. My body spoke to me. Said, hey, this is a good time for weed. And I trusted it. I said, yeah, okay. This can be you for food, for sugary food. That's what unconditional eating, unconditional things do. When you take off the guilt, when you take away the shame, when you take away the excitement, you're able to do what I just did with weed. I smoked weed for years. I mean, I guess I still smoke it, but I abused weed for years. I'm talking years. And thought I was an addict and thought I had a problem. And, I wasn't in denial about it. So for all these years, I knew I had a problem. I was like, damn, I'm using this to cope. I'm using this to avoid reality. And so in the back of my mind, I kept going through this negative cycle, like, wow, I'm an addict. I kept on getting this evidence, right? Every time I put a joint in my mouth, it was like, you're a failure. Here we go again. And, I thought that was pretty much my destiny. And then the strangest thing happened. I started trying these unconditional eating principles, and I applied them to weed, because I did have some disordered eating back in the day, some binge eating when I was wrestling in high school, and some disordered eating college, and even living in the mountains for a bit in the beginning of my phase living as a Buddhist monk, I guess. Yes, phase living as a Buddhist monk. Up there, I had disordered eating, and I got to be real mindful about it and kind of listen to my body and heal. And anyways, that's a side tangent. But the unconditional eating principles, I applied them to weed. And, but for years after the monastery, there we go, there's my train of thought. For years after the monastery, though, I still had problems with weed. So eating was never really my problem. Like, it wasn't really my big problem. The weed problem was much deeper. And that's the thing that most fires me up now, because I really had an identity around weed. And nowadays, after doing this unconditional stuff, it's like it's just such a fresh way of relating to weed. It is such a fresh way of relating to weed. I'm trying to communicate the time when I'm not smoking weed, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not like, it's not in the background of my mind. And then when I want it, like yesterday, it's not like this big 4-hour struggle. Like, cause that was what it was like before. I'd be guilt tripping myself for so long. I'd be like thinking about it all day long. I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna have it. And this would happen like a couple times a week, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't have it. I'm gonna hold off. And then there'd be some days I would have it. There'd be some days where I fought it off, but it was, always this battle. And I thought to myself that by fighting weed, I was smoking less than I otherwise would have been. But nowadays, I'm smoking far less than I ever was doing back when I was fighting weed. Um, I gave myself full emotional permission. Full emotional permission. And I was taking care of myself as well. I had I was in tune with my body from all these years of yoga that I've done and taught, and I was in tune with my body. And that's the key. You got to be in tune with your body, and you got to be taking care of yourself. But if you're doing those okay, like if you're doing those okay, you might be doing those okay and still have horrible food cravings like I did. And if you're doing those things and you're attuned to your body, this process of unconditional eating, it can change your relationship with that food item as well. It can You can lose the battle with food. You can lose the battle with food. Yeah, you can lose it. You need to let yourself lose that battle and try something new. Lose the battle with food. Food isn't supposed to be a battle. And if you keep trying to win, you're still going to be in the mindset of a battle. And so it might feel like you're just losing in the beginning. Like, okay, I lost. I was trying something that didn't work, battling with food. It takes a lot of humility to look at life in this way. It's like an eating enlightenment. It's an enlightened way of, it's shifting your perspective. It's like, whoa, I'm letting go of all this battle with food. And I'm going to try to take care of myself, feel my body, and I'm going to I'm going to safely and carefully and feel safe, and I'm going to take it step by step, and I'm going to start allowing myself to have foods that I want. And I'm going to go on a journey that's inward, that's listening to my body, that's in a true flow with food. It's not battling food. We're absorbing food, sort of. We're listening to it, and it's just a good way to approach this stuff. And on one hand, you could keep on doing what you've always been doing, like for cravings, right? You could keep doing cravings. Like, how long have you had cravings with food? I had cravings for weed for a long time. And nowadays, like, this weird path that I did is I have like very little cravings. Some. But it's 95% gone. 95. So, it'd be one thing if this didn't work, but I mean, you could see, like, cravings doesn't really lead to weight loss. And there's potential for a new change, for freedom, where you can, that craving freedom, that energy can be redirected. Previously that energy might have been sabotaging you. All that craving energy directed to craving and battling yourself, that energy can shift, and who knows where it goes. But it's going to be in a positive direction. So whether it's relationships or focusing on the joy of healthy habits, truly embracing the process in a long-term view because you enjoy it, your intrinsic motivation goes up. That's what we're talking about here. So I'm on my way to a family reunion, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.